Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Brains for Days here on YouTube. My name is Corey, and for those of you who are new here, I am a third-year medical student currently, and I'm about to start my clinical rotations, and I'm super excited about that, and I'll get into that sort of at the end of this video. But if you have been watching me so far, this is part 3 in my Step 1, How I Study for Step 1 study series. And so this is the last part of the study series, and I just want to discuss how I felt on test day some more, and then how I felt after the exam, and then the 2-week period that I had to wait for my score, kind of that period and whatnot. And then just going forward, what's going to be my next steps going forward, and how do I plan to study going forward, and things like that, things I'm thinking about already as a third year. And plus I have a unique story to tell you on my test day experience, so I'll get into that in just a second. Okay, so first, let's just start off with how did I feel on test day. So my last video, the part 2 video, I sort of discussed the car ride leading up, my worship music, how I was just in the zone, filled with the Holy Spirit, just in the zone. And so when I got to the testing center, it was the same thing. Everything was a smooth process, checking in with my ID and getting a locker and making sure my water and my coffee and everything was in place, and my snacks, just so I can grab everything easily during my breaks and everything. And it wasn't too crowded. I think there were 2 or 3 people in front of me as far as like a line and whatnot, and like 2 or 3 people behind me. So not too bad for, I think it was a Monday morning, yes, because it was June 23rd. And so all of that went very, very smoothly. And honestly, on test day, I would say my whole testing experience went very smoothly. If I could give any recommendations as far as just like really honing in on how to prep for step 1, and how to really get in the right mindset, is to make sure you're practicing questions that have longer stems. And I felt like practicing questions that had longer stems really helped me on test day. So going back to your free 120s and going back to your blueprint exams, I think those are highly beneficial for you and will definitely pay off on your test day. Not only that, obviously you need to work on your stamina and your timing and things like that. But I think that practicing with longer stems and making sure you know how to dissect a question and how to get to an answer quickly, or how to get to the applied concepts in your mind pretty quickly, I think it's beneficial that you do practice exams that have longer stems. NBME has shorter stems typically, except for Form 30. I think Form 30 has some longer stems, but I would recommend, again, just honing in on the Blueprint 7 block diagnostics, and the Blueprint QBank is really helpful. That 500 question QBank I mentioned in my last video. And then also your free 120s. And so make sure when you're doing your free 120s that it's the current one, obviously, and then previous ones, because people had advised me to do that, and I found that it really was helpful to do not only the free 120 from 2024, but also the ones from 2012, 2013, just to build this stamina, build this repetition and whatnot. Even if it's tested on the same concepts, or you see repeat questions on the free 120, I would recommend timing yourself during those free 120s and making sure you just know how to get to an answer quickly and how to dissect a question and whatnot, and just make sure you have that firm foundation. And I think that really paid off for me on test day, to be honest. I had a very smooth test day experience, I would say. Now, after the exam was a little bit, my emotions kind of got the best of me at times, but I'll get into that in just a second. But I wanted to tell you guys a story that happened to me on my test day, actually. So this is when I was done with the test, completely done with block 7. It's 3:59, 4 p.m. I'm done with the exam. And that's another thing. I took my exam at 8 a.m. and it ended at exactly 4 p.m. So exactly 8 hours, and whatnot. And so it was a very unique experience. I was actually checking out, filling out all the sign out paperwork for the testing center and whatnot. And I was sort of just getting everything together, all of my stuff from my locker and whatnot. And there was a lady who was already checked in, but she, I think, wanted to go back and get a water or something, or go back to her car for something. And so as I was getting myself out the locker, I think she was going to take my locker, or get my locker next. And I was like, okay, I'm almost done, because I was trying to hurry and pack up all my stuff because I saw her waiting. waiting and whatnot. So she put some of her stuff in the locker, and I think she either got her water and whatnot, and then she like went back out to her car to like take a breather, I think, and kind of get her in her right mindset. It seemed like that. And so I at the time was waiting for my dad to pick me up. So I had gone outside a little bit because it was so cold in the testing center. So make sure again, wear something cozy and comfy to the testing center, just so you have you're comfortable throughout your testing experience. Anyways, so I'm outside and I'm waiting for my dad to pick me up, and she's in her car and she's kind of just taking it breathers. She was drinking some water and whatnot. And then my dad, like when my dad got there and whatnot, and I started to walk towards the car, she rolled her window down and she was like, "Girl, you passed." And like she literally just told me randomly, "You passed." And I was just like, my mind was like, oh my God, I just took the 7 block exam. It was so hard. Well, wasn't hard, but it was like, it was tough. It was tough to get through, because it's just like 8 hours of testing. And my mind was like all over the place really after my exam was over. And so the fact that she rolled her window down and was like, "Girl, you passed," I was just like, "What do you mean I passed? I haven't even gotten the score back yet." I was like, "I have to wait 2 weeks." And when I was like, "It's okay," she was like, "It's okay, it's okay. During this 2 weeks, it's going to be fine because you're going to open the score in 2 weeks and see that you passed." And I was like, "Thank you so much. I appreciate your confidence." She was so confident when she spoke to me. And she was just so confident that I had passed, and I didn't even have that much confidence in myself. I felt good. Like I said, I felt like I had a smooth testing experience, but after it was over, I still felt like, oh my God, man, did I do everything right? Did I misread some things? Like I was still second guessing in my mind, like kind of like we all do, I think, after a big exam. And so, but she was so confident in that I passed that it just felt so heartwarming, and it kind of calmed me down, to be honest, just to hear that. And then it kind of led her into asking me, she was like, "What test did you take today?" And I was like, "I took the Usmle step 1." And then she was like, "What's that?" And then I was like, "It's the test. You're one of 3 board exams you need to take as a physician, and an exam I have to take in order to start, my 3rd year clinical rotations." And she was like, "Oh, okay, that's so cool. I'm taking the praxis today." And the praxis is an exam, of course, to get your teaching license. I don't know what type of teacher she plans on being, but she said that was the exam she was taking today, the same day as me. And it was obviously she was doing like a later exam in the afternoon. And she was just like, I'm pretty nervous. I came to my car and whatnot to just kind of chill out and things like that. I think is what she said, something like that. And I was like, yeah, I figured. And I saw her, because I saw her drinking water and just trying to calm down before her exam. And so she just had this vote of confidence in me that I passed. And so I sort of just, after we were done talking a little bit, I said a little prayer for her. And I was like, "I pray you pass too. I pray you do so well. I put the blood of Jesus over you too." And I was just kind of just speaking words over her and positive affirmations. And I just thought it was so sweet and so heartwarming of her to tell me that I passed, even though I had all of these emotions and sort of thoughts rolling throughout my mind. And it just led me to just think about how God works and how God operates. It's just like, the Lord had my back, even though I sometimes we forget that the Lord has our back. You know what I'm saying? If you're part of the Christian faith, sometimes it's just so easy to be like, God is good all the time. God is good, and whatnot. And we forget sometimes after big moments in life that, God is really actually good. And like, he is there for us. And despite our hardships and obstacles that we might go through in life, the Lord is still there for us. And I felt like he was there for me in that moment and speaking through someone else to me. They say things about like angels are all around, so you need to watch how you talk to people, watch how you talk to strangers. You don't know who's listening. You don't know, it could be an angel, and whatnot. The Lord is everywhere. He's omnipotent. He's omniscient. And it was just so heartwarming to hear her say that. And throughout the next 2 weeks, which I had to wait 2 weeks, as we all know, you have to wait. If you guys do not know, you do have to wait 2 weeks to get your score back, and it is kind of a grueling 2 weeks. It can be brutal, and for me, it was kind of brutal with my emotions. But I always thought back to what she said during that 2 week period, and me thinking back to what she said really just helped me come to terms with the fact that. Sorry, I thought I saw a bug. I do not see a bug. Okay. Really just helped me come to terms with the fact that, I got this, and just to trust my practice. And So as I was saying before, trust your practice. And that's something you hear often on certain forums. And sometimes some of my friends have actually said it to me before too, to just always trust your practice and trust your MBMEs, trust your blueprint exams, trust your free 120s or any other practice exams that you may have done. Always just keep trusting that and trust that you have prepared well for this test. And that really helps you get through honestly the 2 week waiting period before you get your score back, that you did the very best you could under circumstances that you were under, depending on how you prepped and how you studied. You did your very best, and if you know that you did your very best in your heart of hearts basically, then you're going to do just fine. You're going to do better than fine. You're going to do amazing. And so I really just had that in my whole like being during the 2 week period waiting for my exam. And another thing that I did up waiting for my score is binge watch television shows, because that's cool too, right? And so I actually got to binge watch the show House of David on Amazon Prime. I was like watching the first episode, then I'm like, now I'm on the second episode, then I just watched all like 8 episodes at once. And then also still watching one of my favorite Bible shows, The Chosen. Really good show, highly recommend. Highly recommend House of David as well. And so, yeah, I did that too while I was waiting for my score to come back as well. That helped to take my mind off of things as well. But also just being in prayer and just remembering to trust my practice and to trust that I did my very best. And to also just remember what the lady had told me. She just had so much confidence in me on that day saying that I passed. And I felt so it was so heartwarming to hear that. And I felt like it was just the Lord speaking through her to me. And so I really just kept thinking of that, and it really calmed me down throughout the whole waiting experience. So let's just talk now a little bit about when I got my test results back. So it was like a little bit after 2 weeks. It was like um, it was like 2.5 weeks. I still say 2 weeks. It was like 2.5. It was just a couple days after like 14 days, because it was Independence Day, and so it was the score was delayed a little bit because of Independence Day. But I got my score back on July 16th, and the morning of, like, I couldn't really sleep the night before. It was so hard. I kept checking my like account over and over and over again. I just couldn't sleep. But eventually I fell asleep and just was listening to my Syriac hymns, listening to worship music, and just praying a lot. I really like Psalm 91. Highly recommend that verse. And so I was really just kept on saying it over and over again, kept on reading the Psalms, and just really just trying to calm down. And so the morning of, I sort of just randomly kind of refreshed and opened my account again, and then saw the passing score, and I was like, oh my God. And like, oh my God, like I kept saying that like a million times. And I was just like, I just like, praise Jesus. I had no words. I was like speechless, honestly. I didn't have any like thoughts. I wasn't like, oh, I think I'm gonna fail, or oh, I think I'm gonna pass. Like, I had no thoughts. I was so neutral about everything that I was just so like in awe that I had passed my exam. And I just kept on praising and thanking God. And I immediately like called some of my friends and was like, I passed. I was so excited. And I went downstairs and told my mom. I told the dog. And I just told everyone. I told my dad. I told everyone, my family, my pets. Like, I was like, hey, I passed. Like, I was so excited, and it was just such I was speechless. Like, I had no words. I was like, and then later on, after I, calmed down, I was like, you did that. And not only did you do that, really, you didn't really do anything, I should say. Let me rephrase. God did that. Like, literally God did that. And so I just think that was just like, so it was just so like, I was so speechless, and I just kind of, again, got down on my knees and was just kind of like, God did this. It wasn't me, it was him. This was all him. And I just really kept honing in on that. I'm just like, I only did a little bit of stuff. It was mainly God. Like, it was all the Lord. Like seriously. And so that was my reaction to my test. And I was very, very excited. And I think that day I was just like so excited that I ordered some IHOP, and I was like, I'm just gonna order out today, Uber Eats, I'm gonna get some IHOP. IHOP's one of like my favorite breakfast places and whatnot. And I was just so excited. And so I'm happy to report that I will be starting my clinical rotations in Florida this fall in September. And I'm super excited of this next chapter of my medical school experience. 2 more years left, and then I'll be a resident somewhere. Hopefully, my specialty that I'm interested in, for those of you who are wondering, is family medicine. I'm really interested in family medicine, community health, immigrant and refugee health, just local health in the inner cities as well. Just that communal aspect of family medicine, I'm highly interested in, and I'm highly interested in global health tracks as well. If that's potentially offered for me in the future, I would love to work in the Middle East. I would love to work overseas, in places like that. And I'm just so excited going forward for everything that God has in store for me, honestly. And so yeah, I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm just super excited. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see what the Lord has in store overall. And so yeah, I'm actually starting with family medicine as my first rotation. And so I'm really excited to see everything that will hold for me, and everything, just every I can't talk right. All the experience that will bring for me going forward, especially as someone who's interested in becoming a family medicine physician. And so I thank you guys for watching these videos. Definitely check out parts 1 and 2 to my step 1, how I studied, and then check out how I studied for my comp exam that was on the island. Definitely check that out. And if you're studying for comp, and then check these out, my 3-part series if you're studying for step 1. I just want to give you a piece of motivation. You got this, bro, sis, you got this. You're going to do so well on everything that you do. Everything you put your mind to, you're going to do it. And if you're a person of faith, God's got you. And even if you're not a person of faith, God still got you. And so, like, because he has all of us in the palm of his hands. And I just want to hone in on that you can do anything, and don't ever doubt, don't ever give up on your dreams. I know that sounds very cliche, but don't ever give up on your dreams, your doctor dreams or nursing dreams or law school dreams, whatever school you're in. Don't give up on it. Just keep on with the keep on. Keep praying and working, and you got this. If you guys have any questions, comments, definitely leave them down below. Definitely subscribe. I want to start getting into filming more vlogs. I have no idea what I'm doing in that sort of arena. I have to figure out how the whole editing software works. If you guys haven't noticed, none of my videos are edited. They're typically just kind of me talking, and like I film it all in one take because I can't currently afford to get a subscription for the editing software. But whenever I can afford it, I'm gonna get like the editing software and try to edit and, like, be some medical school influencer. We'll see what happens. I don't know, but definitely subscribe. If you want to keep in touch, I am on Instagram at futureneurodoc94. Or you can follow my other my other page on Instagram called at Modest Girly Kojo. I love modest fashion, and I love sharing my styles and sort of the brands I got the certain styles from. And so definitely go check that out if you're interested. And so yeah, I thank you guys for tuning in, and remember, you got this. Bye.